bold, fearless, unstoppable. A new era has been welcomed in with a particular song, Big Dawg's. As rap music experiences continual evolution, the song did more than cause a storm. It kicked in an entirely new phase for the genre. With exceptional determination and a natural gift, artists have created their own paths, from underworld wars to top hits on the charts. We are going to know about the singer behind this track today. Come and find out his story with us. Introducing Suraj Cherukat, the creative force and talent behind Hanumankind. He was born in 1992 in the lively Indian state of Kerala, and since then, his life has been everything from typical. Though he spent his early years in the United States, he has lived in a number of different nations.
No, it was like Houston was predominantly like a big chunk of my childhood, but it's like when I born Nigeria, Saudi, Dubai, Egypt, Qatar.
Along with growing up in Houston, so he had wide journeys to Nigeria, Saudi Arabia, Dubai, and Italy. It was an oil industry job for his dad. While he was raised in a Malayalam household, he was more into responding in English. Although he admired Malayalam's language grace, he was always easier in communicating in English. It changed over time to become what it is now, because Cherukat's parents trusted in the traditional way to be successful, like going to school, getting a good job, and settling down. He seemed to be on the right road. He used to freestyle with his classmates when he was a high school student. He began putting on tracks and rapping freely about life when he was 15 years old. He spoke that it was a fun activity for him to do while racing with other people. His preference has always been for peace and affection, and he has never been one for combat rap. He earned a bachelor degree in business administration from PSG College in Coimbatore after attending Houston Community College in Texas. In 2014, after finishing college, he interned at Goldman Sachs in India and then employed for nearly a year as an operational analyst. After that, he moved on to big city promotions, where he worked as a coalition and partnership specialist. At roughly 28 years old, he had the inspiration that music could be his profession. He started out pursuing it only for learning. Just for fun, he'd show up at open mics to play. His decision to put himself fully to rapping, something he had explored with before, came at the right time. At night, he changed into hanumankind, a new artist with a strong love for music. The name hanumankind came to him because it represents the duality of his mental landscape, ours and the one he builds. According to him, his music is all about uniting emotions, sentiments, power, and giving words force. As he began, he had no idea that his passion would eventually become his career. In 2019, he released his first extended play EP Kalari, which featured the single Daily Dose and introduced his individual sound. For him, things began to burst in 2020. He got started on his skill right away as it wasn't possible to manage his job with music anymore. He quitted it. He revealed that his family initially stood against his profession as a musician.
I won't say. Like, I was an extroverted character when I was growing up, right? And I think my parents are like, especially my pops, who's like very, he came, like, education is his thing. Like, he came, from the village, came out, got a job, got a bunch of people jobs. And he's like, this worked for us. You got to do it this way. And I think at first it was sort of just like, what are you doing? Right. And also, I think it ties into the fact that because of the lack of other people.
His father, who really values education, happened to see him by surprise at a small show where he gave it his all. He realized the worth of his kid's dedication when he noticed the amount of time, effort, and devotion his son had put into it. His career started at NH7 Weekender, where he originally caught people's attention. Since then, he's been slowly making a name for himself with his energetic performances and powerful lyrics. After experiencing early success, hanumankind kept on improving and breaking records in hip-hop. Rolling Stone India, a big publication, covered him in their Future of Music initiative as a voice that will shape the next sound of India's musical market due to his work. His appearances on Vice, First Post, and Netflix strengthened his position as a key figure in the Indian hip-hop culture. He has received national and worldwide acclaim for his artistic talent. Each music that keeps becoming better and better with age, this musician has a bright future ahead of him in the ruthless world of hip-hop. His private world and the music of hanumankind are mirrors of his struggle to abandon his Indian heritage and adopt his more globalized personality. By fusing a powerful vocal performance with appealing rhythms, his compositions fearlessly confront the hardships of street life in southern India. Now that Big Dawg is out, he is more famous all over the world. Everyone is knocking on the rapper's doorway after noticing the Big Dawg's comments section on YouTube. Every person from Kazakhstan and the US to Kenya and Turkey, people are glued to seeing Hanuman within the well of death. It's the amusement park ride where riders use centrifugal power to keep their automobiles or motorcycles in a tunnel. Director Bijoy Shetty, an old partner of hanumankind's, came up with the idea of using the well of death for the clip. The concept fits with their belief that there is no risk without gain. Along with dumping fancy vehicles, he brought an alternate to richness of popular rap by focusing on small-town stuntmen from poor backgrounds who practice a skill that is dying out in India. Not only did his fellow hip-hop legends like Bun B and Project Pat give the video a lot of love, but it also gained international praise. For hanumankind, being in a car that resisted gravity was very scary. Malappuram, a few kilometers from the residence of hanumankind, was the location of the video shoot. The last time they worked together, on the early 2023 song Go to Sleep with music by Parimal Shais, they made honor to Fight Club. Big Dawg, with Call Me, is his most popular song to date. It took him 1.5 years to get here. Since its debut on July 9th, it has earned over 93 million views on YouTube and 152 million streams on Spotify. His single Big Dawg hit #1 on the charts around the world and even surpassed Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us in terms of fame. The rapper's skyrocketing rise to stardom was covered by the BBC. There was also a review video that went viral on TikTok with millions of views. Even while he brought people together in YouTube's comments area, the constant criticism and doubt about how Big Dawg gained so much popularity also arose. There were some who started saying that every page promoting the release was paid to do so. Many in the current media-saturated world have admitted that spending funds to promote a powerful song like Big Dawg was necessary. There are those who think his music doesn't have the same effect on Indian audiences. Hanumankind may have trouble connecting with listeners who don't know English since, like many of his rivals, he sings only in English. Some say he's too much of a Western imitator and that he treats his Indian background like a token. Possibly, Hanumankind's own view of his art reveals this dual nature. Going back to India has helped him find his place in the world, but he also wants to see himself from a different angle. Racist insults have been flung at the rapper on the internet due to his unique aesthetic. His non-Indian appearance and accent make it hard for some foreign listeners to believe he is actually from India. His Indian fans, however, look down on him for comparable reasons. They want him to be more like their idealized version of Indian culture. However, many of his supporters have come to cherish this specific style of his work. They see him as a free-thinking street poet who infused new criticism of society into the classic hip-hop forms with which he was raised. Getting past people's ideas of what a South Asian rapper can do and making a name for himself on his own timeline ought to be Hanuman's biggest obstacle and greatest success. The music of hanumankind is an intense blend of meditation and power, influenced by artists such as Logic, Kendrick Lamar, and J. Cole. With Big Dawg's meteoric rise to the summit of the Spotify global top, passing both Kendrick Lamar and Eminem, his dream has finally come true. Casa Bacardi, VH1 Supersonic, Color Sex Studios blog, NH7 Weekender, and Under 25 are among the platforms that have highlighted him. That's all for the success story of hanumankind. Make sure to follow and subscribe if you want more of this content.